Interesting questions and important answers and opportunity. This is Thoughtful Beliefs.
You are now going to know the modern science understanding of the origin of the universe. In previous videos, we talked about how serious your worldview beliefs are in the quantity and quality of impact, and that there is truth regarding beliefs and it can be known. Now we're going to jump into the simple approach we mentioned, where we're going to start with something we can agree on, like we exist and the universe exists. If we start there, there's only two options. Either there was a beginning to space and time, or there was no beginning. Those are your only options. And this is where it gets really interesting, because before all the evidence came in, the different belief systems divided very cleanly on this. Looking at the atheist writings before the evidence came in, they said the universe was eternal, existed forever. That was a general view of science, basically every belief system not founded on the Bible. And it just was kind of common sense thought. You see the sun come up, sun goes down, it happened yesterday, it did today, it will tomorrow. That was just a common thought. A revolutionary idea was on the other side. That was the biblical claims. And this biblical model didn't just say that there was a beginning to the universe. It made a number of very specific, clear claims that went against common thought and every other belief at the time. Then when you look at the evidence, and the evidence involves some of the greatest discoveries of modern science, some of the biggest names. You have Edwin Hubble, the Hubble telescope was named after, Einstein, Hawking. You have multiple Nobel Prize winners involved. And when you look at the evidence, here's the bottom line. All of the evidence supports that there was a beginning to the universe. There is no evidence supporting that the universe was eternal. It didn't have a beginning. When all of the evidence is on one side, and there's no evidence supporting the other, even a graduate from Ohio State University can figure out what side to bet on. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a Michigan fan. I have 15 years of angst against OSU. So here is the well-established modern science understanding of where we came from, the origin of the universe. First, there was nothing. There was not anything. There was no matter, energy, not even space or time. There was nothing. Now, some people like to think that there was some pre-existing space and then the universe came into existence. There was not anything of this universe, not even a vacuum. That's even part of space. Then all of a sudden, all of the universe came into existence in a super small, super dense, and hot state. And from that point, it started expanding and cooling following fixed natural laws. In fact, it was so dense, not even light could escape at the beginning. So even if you were right there, you wouldn't be able to see it. That is the modern science understanding of the origin of the universe. And this is the understanding that the Bible provided over 3,000 years before modern science discovered the same. Now, this isn't just me saying this. Listen to the quotes of the scientists involved. Astronomer Sir Frederick Hoyle, he was an atheist and he was a leading proponent of an eternal universe. When they started bringing him evidence that the universe had a beginning, he said, that's scientific genesis. What was it, a Big Bang? He called it that to make fun of it and the name stuck. Robert Jastrow, founder of NASA's Goddard Institute of Space Studies, said, astronomical evidence leads to a biblical view of the origin of the world. The essential element in the astronomical and biblical accounts of Genesis is the same. Nobel Prize winners Penzias and Wilson add respectively, the best data we have concerning the Big Bang are exactly what I would have predicted had I had nothing to go on but the 5 books of Moses, the Psalms, and the Bible as a whole. And certainly, there was something that started it all off. I can't think of a better theory of the origin of the universe to match Genesis. Mathematical physicist Frank Tipler adds, from the perspective of the latest physical theories, Christianity isn't a mere religion, but an experimentally testable science. Now think how many big questions this answers. Did the universe have a beginning, or was it eternal and just existed forever? Well, the answer is, it had a beginning. What about the relationship between science and religion and belief systems? Well, we see that science and religion pointed their different perspectives to the same issue, and you can get a good idea of how science relates to the different belief systems. Science has given a disproof of a major core belief in basically all the different belief systems, including atheism and a general view of science. And at the same time, science confirmed biblical claims that were multiple claims, clear and specific, 3,000 years before modern science figured out the same. So here's a test for truth. How would you know if there's a God behind something? Think about it. Well, it would have to produce something that man was not capable of doing, that humanity just couldn't do. Do we have that here? The Bible gave multiple clear specific predictions 3,000 years in advance of modern science. If you think the Bible is just man-made, then what are other examples? Because there should be many, many equivalent examples throughout all of history. Because if it's just man-made, it'll be like other man-made things. What are those other examples? Or is the Bible singularly unique in this? And that's just the first step in this approach of considering the different belief systems. Now you can add some interesting conversation information. And it gets more interesting as we move forward. Be sure to check out the next video, which covers the caused evidence.